Terma. Sila beritahu saya. Untuk pengetahuan semua, saya bukanlah expert dalam MQF 2.0 tetapi sudah expose dengan MQF ini sejak pada tahun awal pertengahan 2019 bersama-sama dengan Dr. Esther dan juga Dr. Rose Patsy. Okay, semasa kursus PNP dulu. Okay, alright. Jadi untuk bagi makluman semua, sekiranya anda ingin dapatkan dokumen berkenaan dengan MQF 2.0 yang terbaru, iaitu yang telah dipublish pada 17 Februari 2021, boleh scan ini QR code ataupun just type in bit.ly/mqfppib. Di sana ada dokumen MQF 2.0 yang terbaru dan juga beberapa slide yang telah dibentangkan oleh Dr. Junaina pada Ogos 2019, Oktober 2019 dan juga oleh Dr. Vincent Pang, Profesor Vincent Pang. Jadi sekiranya anda mempunyai masa free ataupun menggunakan ada handphone sendiri, sila scan ataupun just type in ini link. Okay, so di sini kita ada MQF 2.0 untuk pengetahuan semua. For everybody's information, MQF is the instrument actually that classifies the qualification, set criteria, and it's approved by nationally and benchmarked against international best practices. Okay, so this MQF 2.0 is an improvement from MQF 1.0, which was published in 2007 and it was enforced in 2011. So this MQF 2.0 is an improvement because it is in line with the Asian QRF qualification framework. Okay, so I think everybody know that MQF 2.0 is important, especially for our development of our pasca siswaza or postgraduate curriculum, especially in the planning stage, like we are doing now. Okay, like we are doing now. It's very important in the planning stage. So here, MQF 2.0, MQF, it serves as a basis of quality assurance for higher education. It's a reference point for national qualification and it's an instrument that classifies qualifications. It clarifies, it divides or defines the level of into 8 different levels. For example, the diploma level, the undergraduate level, the master's level, and also PhD levels. And this MQF 2.0 especially has the level of indicators, level of descriptions, what to define how each levels have their own definition in different MQF 2.0 MQF levels, LODs. Okay, so in the MQF 1.0, it has 8 LODs. Okay, I will show you how it morphed into 11 LODs in the MQF 2.0. So in this MQF 2.0, it's divided or categorized into 5 clusters. Okay, so before in MQF 1.0 it has only 8 LODs, and in MQF 2.0 it is clustered into 5 clusters. Okay, so you can see that when I say that MQF 2.0 or this MQF, it shows the 7 or 8 different levels of the use of MQF. Okay, but into category of certificate, you can see here, MQF level 1.1 until 3 is categorized, allocated for the certificate level. Okay, MQF 4, level 4 is for diploma. MQF level 5 is for advanced diploma. Okay, MQF level 6 is for undergraduate level, bachelor's degree, graduate diploma, and graduate certificate. Okay, while level 7, where we are now, it's for the master's degree by research, degree by coursework, postgraduate diploma and certificate, and MQF level 8, it is for PhD level. Okay, so today we'll be focusing on only level 7, which is the master's degree by research. If you see here, this is relevant to, we are also focusing on MQF level 8 as well, okay, because we are introducing PhD level. Okay, so at least we can use this graph, this schedule, to know that how many graduating credit that we need to use for the MQ, for the masters and also PhD by research. Okay, so there's no credit rating for PhD by research and also no credit rating for master's degree by research. Okay, so here MQF 2.0 is mostly, other than it has 8 domains, which is clustered into 5 clusters. Okay, right. So you can see that this one, MQF 1.0, it has 8 LODs before knowledge, practical, and the LOD3, it has self-confidence, respect, social communication, self-awareness, social responsibility. 4, values, attitudes, ethics, and professionalism. LOD5, it has about leadership, communication, and teamwork. 6 is about problem solving and scientific skills. 7 is more about information technology, information management. And also 8 is about entrepreneurial skills, managerial and entrepreneurial skills. So it morphed into 11 LOD here. Okay, so you can see the color here from MQF1 until MQF2, how it has been mixed around and then being clustered. Okay, so if it's yellow, it's about knowledge, it's under the knowledge cluster. If it's purple, practical skills, it's categorized under functional work skills under MQF 2.0. Okay, while the LOD3, this blue one in 1.0, it morphed into the functional work skills in MQF 2.0. LOD4 in MQF1, it has morphed and categorized under the cluster 4, personal skills, and the cluster 5, ethics and professionalism. LOD5 in MQF1, it has morphed into the cluster 3, communications, and also the leadership, autonomy, and responsibility. While LOD6 in MQF 1.0, it morphed into the cluster cognitive skill, okay, the second cluster, and also under the functional work skills, numeracy skills, okay. While the LOD7 in MQF 1.0, it morphed into the digital skills, which is clustered under functional work skills. And LOD8 under MQF 1.0, it morphed into the cluster number 4, which is entrepreneurial skills. Okay, so you can see how it has been categorized more efficiently here. Okay, while still aiming towards the lifelong learning skills. Okay, so here it is very important to understand where your PLO falls in. Okay, so it's really important to understand this MQF 2.0, the latest one. So at least you know how to map out your PLO accordingly. Okay, so the next one. So here is just how each clusters under the 5 clusters is related to the MQF version 2 and how it was related to the version 1. Okay, so this one I will share in the Google Drive, okay, bit.ly/MQF PPIB, so you can get it there. Okay, so the graduate profile needs the 11 MQF domain, and also the graduate profile needs the 9 MOC domain also. Okay, so here this is where the MQF 2.0, okay, 2.0, and what is the Bloom's taxonomy relevant to the MQF 2.0. Okay, so this is the MQF 2.0 here. You can see I have shown these red lines to show the categorization under the 5 clusters. Okay, if here you will see what was the MQF 1, the previous LOD in MQF 1.0. So this is the Bloom's taxonomy. MQF 1.0 MQF LOD 1, the knowledge one. You need to use the Bloom's taxonomy cognitive, lower order of thinking skills, okay, LOTS okay, lower order thinking skills. While the LOD2 cognitive skills, you need to use LOD cognitive Bloom's taxonomy, but in the category of higher order thinking skills. And the rest of the cluster, which is cluster 3, it has practical, interpersonal, communication, digital, numeracy, and leadership skills. This one has different Bloom's taxonomy that you need to do. Practical, use psychomotor taxonomy, while interpersonal, use affective, communication, use affective, digital skills, use affective skills. Okay, while numeracy needs cognitive taxonomy, which is ranked under the higher order thinking skills. Leadership, autonomy, responsibility needs the affective taxonomy. Okay, while the other cluster 4, personal skills and entrepreneurial skills, will use the taxonomy, affective skills, affective taxonomy. And the last one is the ethics and professionalism. You will use the affective taxonomy as well. So here, why you need to know the taxonomy here is because when you do your PLO, you need to use the right word to portray the taxonomy behind the MQF. Okay, so you are able to match with the right MQF later. Okay, so I think Prof. Jennifer mentioned that the master's level and also PhD levels, there's the correct word that you need to use under each of this level. So I think you can find it under the descriptions under the MQF 2.0 at the end of towards the end of the document. Okay, I think in here I also mentioned that. Okay, so if you are wondering what is the higher order thinking skills of cognitive and also lower order thinking skills, lower order of thinking skills. So this is it. Higher order thinking skills of cognitive is the evaluation, where students need to synthesize the knowledge, analyze the knowledge, and apply the knowledge. While the lower order thinking skills needs the student to comprehend the knowledge and just talk about use the knowledge. Okay, so this is the lower order thinking skills. Okay, so here to know what are the keywords being used for the cognitive, psychomotor, and affective domain. I've already attached it in these slides as well. I wouldn't go on each of it. Okay, this is merely to be used as a guidance. Okay, while you do the PLO mapping later. Okay, so here this is I got this from Professor Vincent's slides. Okay, so this is psychomotor domain, affective domain. So you can see the difference between lower order affective domain and higher order affective domain, and also cognitive and psychomotor. Okay, so in the MQF 2.0, you will be able to see the descriptions of learning outcome by clusters. Okay, so as you know, there are 5 clusters here: knowledge, cognitive, functional, work skills, and then the entrepreneurial cluster. Okay, so here, this cluster description of LO here, there is the knowledge here. Okay, if you want to know what does knowledge means, knowledge skills means, the cognitive skills means, okay, by what, this is what I copied from the MQF 2.0 document by the MQF body. So you can just use this as reference as well. Okay, I did not change any words from the MQF document. So no, usually the knowledge skills LOD is about the systematic understanding how the student apply the theoretical and also technical knowledge, okay, whether it's used for common everyday knowledge or non-common. Okay, so cognitive skills is related to applying the knowledge and skills. It uses critical thinking, assessment, and applying, and analyzing, problem solving, as well as synthesizing the ideas or knowledge. Okay. Sorry, the next cluster is functional work skills. So there is different skills under this cluster, which is practical work skills. directly related to work skills, operational skills, or specialized skills, while the interpersonal skills under this cluster is relevant to managing relationships in teams. Okay, the third one is about communication skills, which is relevant to communicating, conveying information, ideas in appropriate language. The next one is relevant to digital skills. So digital skills is relevant to how the student is able to use information, digital technologies to support the work and studies. And the next one is numeracy skill is relevant to quantitative skills. Okay, and the last one under functional work skills is the leadership, autonomy, and responsibility. So this is relevant to the degrees of autonomy to make decisions or setting goals. Okay, while the next cluster, which is personal and entrepreneurial skills, is relevant to the personal skills is relevant to the expected use to the daily life. Okay, the skills relevant to the daily life. While the entrepreneurial skills is relevant to the whatever relevant to enterprise. Okay, the skills are knowledge, skills, and expertise relevant to an enterprise. Okay, while the last cluster, which is ethics and professionalism, here ethics is direct to the word lah. Okay, relevant to the word ethics and values, important to the personal, organization, society, community. Okay, so and also the awareness of the ethics. Okay, so that is what are the 5 clusters and what does it mean by each 5 clusters. Okay, and here there are different levels of descriptors. So each level 8, which is the PhD, and also level 7, which is for the master by research, it has its own descriptors and also purposes. So if you are able to find the MQF document 2.0 document in the Google Drive, which I have shared earlier in this workshop, you can see that at the end of the appendix, there is the level 7 and level 8 level descriptors. Okay, so the purpose of these descriptors is to describe the learning achievement at a particular level, like example level 8 for PhD and level 7 for masters. So the level descriptor defines the expected knowledge, capabilities, and the competencies of the learners or the students on successful completion of learning programs in the context of work and study. So with these level descriptors, it will guide us, okay, to guide us in writing the PLO in support of the assessment criteria and also assigning levels to the master's levels and also the PhD levels, okay? So against this MQF framework. So here I attach an example of level 7. Okay, for level 8, you can find it in the document MQF 2.0 in the Google Drive I've shared. So this is the example of the level descriptors. Okay, so for the level 7 for master's level, this is a summary of the learner's profile. They provide this, okay, to give you a glimpse of what is expected from this level 7 and what is you need to use this to guide you in developing the PLO. Okay, so you can see here, this is the summary of learner's profile. Okay, and it defines based on the clusters as well. Okay, cluster 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So here, this is the level of descriptor for knowledge. Okay, for example, cluster 1, the level descriptor for master's level. The master level students are able to demonstrate originality and independence in undertaking analytical and critical evaluation, synthesizing complex information, specialized concept theories, methods, and practice in field students study practice as a basis for research. So this is one example. This is for the cognitive part, which is able to apply knowledge critically and integratively. Okay. While the cluster 3 is about the conducting standard and specialized research methods. So this is for the master's level, okay? While the other level is about the communicating, communicating, working together, demonstrating competencies to work, undertake advanced study, right, in at least one foreign language. So I think what Prof. Jennifer mentioned in her previous workshop relevant about what are the correct words we need to use in our PEO, PLO. I think this is what she mentioned. Each level has their own specific descriptors that we need to use in or integrate into our designing of our curriculum. Okay, so cluster 3, it has digital and numeracy skills. So it's relevant to master students are able or competent to use a wide range of suitable digital technology. So this is merely an example. Okay, so you can read through leadership, autonomy, and responsibility. For master's level, they are able to demonstrate significant autonomy, independence, leadership, interpersonal skills at work and class. Okay, this is cluster 4, exemplifies self-advancement through continuous academic and or professional development. And while cluster 5 is about demonstrating legal, ethical, professional codes of practice. Okay, so this is the extra. Okay, so the most important thing when you do the PLO, this is an example, okay, when you do the PLO and MQF mapping, okay, the most important thing is the statements on what skills the student you need to show. What are the statements you need to show that what skills the student needs to show upon the graduation, okay, in line with the program standards of professional bodies. And also it at least the mapping or the PLO needs to at least map to at least minimum of MQF 8 PLOs, okay, 8 domains of the MQF. I'm not so sure of the current one. I think at least 8, still 8 now. Okay, I'm not so sure. We need to ask the PA what's the minimum requirement of MQF we need to map with. Okay, I think we need to map all 11 if I'm not mistaken. But however, in Professor Jennifer's Bengkel at the PNP 2019, she mentioned that at least minimum of 8 domains of MQF. Okay, so here each PLO will map into one LO learning domains of MQF only, okay, not 2, all right? So only one PLO, one MQF domain, right? So the next one, I'm stuck. Okay, so here, okay, so these are the example. Let me show you an example. Let me stop this. Okay, let me stop this. Screen. So this is one example from another university. I found this in another university, how they map the PLO with the MQF. Okay, for example, okay, so for this one, this is one example here. So here is the recent 11 MQF 2.0 domains, level 1 until level LOD 11, LOD 1 until LOD 11. So these are the examples of how they map it with the PLO. Okay, so if it's about pengetahuan, knowledge, okay, kita perlu mapkan dan matching dengan PLO yang selaras lah, menggunakan taksonomi kognitif pada kognitif yang berkenaan dengan pengetahuan. Okay, seperti contoh mempamer pengetahuan dan pemahaman yang mendalam mengenai konsep teori dan penyelidikan yang berkaitan dengan pengurusan pendidikan dan kepimpinan. So ini adalah salah satu contoh oleh UUM, how mereka map LOD 1 hingga LOD 11 dengan PLO mereka. So ini saya boleh sertakan dalam slide tadi, sebagai guidance untuk bagaimana kita map PLO dengan MKF 11 MKF LOD 11 ni. So saya rasa itu sahaja daripada saya sebab selepas ni kita perlu go through one by one. Untuk bagi mereka yang ada melihat dengan Google Drive yang saya share pada awal workshop ini adalah contoh MQF 2.0 punya edition yang terbaru dikeluarkan pada Februari 2021. So kalau melihat apakah level descriptor bagi level 7 dan level 8, ia ada ditunjukkan pada akhir dokumen ini. Ini adalah level descriptors. So dia menunjukkan setiap level pada sertifikat sehinggalah level PhD. So kita akan menggunakan level 7 dan juga level 8. So level 7 ada di sini yang seperti saya tunjukkan dalam slide tadi. So dia bersambung ke sini, the next page. Dan level 8 untuk doctoral PhD, ini adalah mereka punya level descriptor. So at least kita boleh lihat bagaimana kita gunakan perkataan tu, inilah yang expected one from the MKF 2.0 agar kita tidak terlari daripada mereka punya standard lah. So kalau melihat apakah MKF 5 cluster dan definition bagi setiap LOD pun ada di sini. Just refer to this document. Ini adalah yang terbaru. So saya rasa itu sahaja daripada saya. Sebarang, yes, I will share with you Dr. Puan Kamsila. So setakat ni ada apa-apa lagi daripada saya stop sharing. Ini adalah
ada soalan-soalan dari rakan-rakan, dipersilakan.
Di dalam chat room, chat box saya ada sharekan the link to the Google Drive just now. So tekan saja bit.ly MKFPPIB. Ada sebarang soalan, saya rasa ini adalah mostly we learn based on doing lah. Kalau kita buat lagi kita faham bagaimana mapping PLO dengan MQF. Yes, this is fun from the QR code. Kalau tidak, saya share directly.
Ada soalan kah untuk Dr. Tara?
Saya rasa ini just a refresher course saja because Dr. Junaina pernah bagi taklimat pada 2019. So this is mostly a refreshing course sahajalah what is MKF 2.0 and how we should map it to our PLO.
Yes, yeah. Thank you very much to Dr. Tara. I believe if you have question, you can still ask if you have question, anyone? Because later on, pasukan pasca siswaja akan diminta untuk membuat penambahbaikan kepada dokumen, yaitu dokumen pasca program pasca berdasarkan MQF 2.0. Jadi kalau ada soalan, dipersilakan.
Rasanya tiada. Kali tidak sabar kali membuat sudah dokumen untuk mereka mapping untuk mereka punya dokumen.
Ya, mungkin juga kan.
Yeah.
Diminta semua rakan-rakan yang hadir hari ini untuk mengisi Google Form bagi mendapatkan mata ITP ya. Ada sudah di chat room link untuk mengisi feedback kepada taklimat pagi ini ya. Ada lagi soalan kah? Kalau tiada, saya ingin teruskan. Terima kasih Dr. Tara. Saya ingin teruskan dengan perbincangan ringkas tentang pengisian sistem OPE.